Hello and welcome to Digital Signal Processing online lecture series. Myself Rima Rawal from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In today's session, we are going to conduct the topic Basic Elements of Digital Signal Processing System from the unit number 1, that is Introduction. Now, in previous lectures, we have seen different types of signals and its classification. We have seen basic signals and its continuous time and discrete time representations. We have seen how to represent that signals mathematically so that we can use that mathematical representation in further chapters. We have seen the basic signals like sine signal, cosine signal, step signal, exponential signal, ramp signal, sin function, signum function, etc. As well as we have seen the classification of signals like even signal, odd signal, energy signal, power signal, deterministic signal or random signal, continuous time signal or discrete time signal likewise. So now in today's session we are starting with the basic elements required for the digital signal processing system. So let's start with that. First of all, the question arises is what is system? Now, system is basically an entity which performs various operations on the given input signal and it will give the output function or output signal according to the application which we are required so that we have designed the system. This system can be of any type. It can be a communication system, a remote processing system, a biomedical system, a digital signal processing system, control system, etc. So according to the type of system or according to the system which is designed for the application, we are going to conduct that input signal and we are going to give that input signal to that particular system so that we can get the desired output signal, right? So we can say that a system is an entity which performs variety of operations according to the system specifications to the input signal. That means which kind of system is this, and according to that it will give the output signal, right? That means for here we are going to consider the digital signal processing system. So here our input will be a signal which is not processed and the output will be a digitally processed signal, right? So here the system block will be digital signal processor system. Okay, now the next question is what are elements, or else what is the requirement of element, right? Now element is basically a basic building block or equipments which are required to design a particular system. Let's say for example, if I want to make a call, so for that calling system I will require a device which performs the calling operation. That means I will need mobile or landline device, right? That means if I make a call using my mobile device or cell phone device, that device is called as an element of the calling system, right? So elements are basic equipments or basic building blocks which are required to design a particular system, right? So here we are considering the basic elements of digital signal processing system. So we will see the basic building blocks or basic equipments we are going to have to design this system. So first of all, now let's see the block diagram of DSP system. In this block diagram, there are main 6 blocks. First block is anti-aliasing filter, to which analog input signal is given. Here analog input signal is denoted in terms of x of t. This analog signal can be a voice signal, speech signal or any data signal which will be analog in nature. This signal is given to the first block which is anti-aliasing filter. So what is anti-aliasing? To understand that we need to understand what aliasing effect is, right? So here aliasing is called as a fold over error as well, right? That means aliasing or fold over error. What is this and why this occurs? So aliasing or fold over error occurs when the sampling theorem condition is not satisfied. What that condition is? That condition is Fs should be greater than or equals to twice of Fm. That means this is the condition of sampling theorem. If this condition is not satisfied, aliasing effect occurs. Here Fs is your signal frequency and Fm is your maximum frequency, right? That means signal frequency should be greater than or equals to twice of maximum frequency FM, right? If this condition is not satisfied, aliasing happens. What is aliasing? Let us see by example. For example, consider this signal. In this signal transmission, this indicates the frequency. We are going to consider the various frequency component signals. First, this is signal 1, this is signal 2, and this is signal 3. For this, signal number 1, signal number 2, signal number 3, this indicates FL1, which means lower frequency for signal number 1. Then this is FH1, that means high frequency value for signal 1. Similarly, here this will be FL2, that means lower frequency value for signal 2. This will be FH2, that means high frequency value for signal number 2. This will be FL3, that means low frequency value for signal number 3. And this is FH3, that means high frequency value for signal number 3. So in normal transmission, this signal transmission will look like this, and at the receiver side it should be stored like this. That means whatever the frequency values are for the particular signal, it should be stored and received like this only. But if this condition is not satisfied, then overlapping of this signal occurs, which will be called as aliasing or fold-over error. What happens in this? So in this, overlapping condition occurs. That means like this, the signal will be overlapped. Okay, so here this is signal number 1. This is signal number 2 or data signal 2. Right? So here this will indicate FL1. This signal's high frequency will be denoted as FH1. For this is FL2, that means for signal 2. This will be FH2. This will be FL3, and this will be FH3. Right? But what happens here is, at the transmission side, these signals are transmitted and overlapping occurs. So what it will be stored like? This will be considered as the low frequency value for signal 1, and the very next frequency that comes over here, that means this will be stored as the high frequency of the signal number 1. That means the receiver will understand that this next frequency is the value of high frequency for signal number 1. But actually it is not the case. This is the low frequency value for signal number 2. So this error occurs, which is called as aliasing effect, which means the lower frequency component take the identity of high frequency component, which is called as aliasing effect. Right? Similarly for signal 2 also that happens. This will be stored as the low frequency of signal 2, and this will be as high frequency of signal 2. So this will be in error, or else this will be called as frequency error or aliasing effect. Right? So to remove this aliasing effect or fold over error, this condition should be satisfied, and to remove this effect here, anti-aliasing filter is used. Right? So this filtered output is then given to the next block, which is sample and hold circuit. So as the name suggests over here, this sample and hold circuit will sample the input voltage levels which is received by them, and it will hold to that particular values, which is the basic requirement of analog to digital converter. Okay, so sample and hold circuit will receive the analog signal from the anti-aliasing filter, and it will sample and hold to that particular value. Right? So now this signal is then given to the next block, which is ADC. ADC is called as analog to digital converter. Why we require this? Because whatever the signal we are receiving, it is in the form of analog signal, right? So to process it further, we need to convert it into digital form, so that digital signal processor can understand that signal, right? Now, to convert any analog signal into digital form, there are three basic operations. The first one is sampling. The second one is quantizing, and the third one is encoding. Right, so to convert any analog signal to digital signal, these three operations are to be performed. Here in first one, that is in sampling, the sampling instance are taken for the analog input signal, then they are quantized, that means rounding off or approximation process, and these values are encoded to get the digital output in terms of 0 and 1. Okay, so the analog to digital converter will convert this signal into digital form, and then it will give this digital signal to the next and important block, which is digital signal processor. This digital signal processor is the important and main block of this entire system. Here the signals are processed for particular application which the system is designed for. Here the processor can be of any type. It can be ADSP 2100 processor or TMS 320 processor or any such processors. Now we will see this kind of processors and its architecture in further chapters. So this processor will process the signal, and then it will give this processed signal to the next block, which is DAC, which is called as digital to analog converter. Why we required to do this? Because whatever the signal we have received that was analog in nature, so we have to give that back signal in its original form. That means it can be voice signal, speech signal, or whatever the form it was. We need to get back this in that analog nature, right? So we will need to convert that digital signal into analog signal. For that, DAC block is used. Now this analog signal is given to the next block, which is reconstruction filter. Now reconstruction filter is basically a low pass filter which will remove the high frequency components or else noise components which are unnecessary, and it will remove that components by allowing to pass the pure signal. Okay, so reconstruction filter will remove unnecessary noise component from the signal and it will give the output signal. So here the output signal will be analog in nature. Okay, so this is the basic block diagram indicating elements of digital signal processing system. So let us quickly revise that. The basic elements of digital signal processing system block diagram includes main 6 blocks. First one is anti-aliasing filter. This anti-aliasing filter will remove the aliasing effect. Then the second block is sample and hold circuit, which will sample the voltage levels from the received signal and hold to that particular value. This will be given to the next block, that is ADC, analog to digital converter. Then the main next block is digital signal processor block, that is DSP block, where the processing on the digital signal is performed. Then this processed signal according to requirement is then given to the DAC block, which is digital to analog converter, which will convert the digitally processed signal into analog form. Then it will give to the next block, that is reconstruction filter, which will remove the noise or unwanted components from the received signal, and it will give the output signal, that is analog in nature. Okay, so these elements are important for you to understand, and it is also important to understand role of each and every blocks. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you now. These are the references. The first one is GTU syllabus. Strictly follow the syllabus with the code 2171708. Okay, your DSP subject block or DSP subject code for this is this 2171708. Okay, you can refer this book as well. Digital Signal Processing, Principles, Algorithms and Application by Pearson Publication. You can refer other books as well which are mentioned in your GTU syllabus. That may be helpful to you. Thank you. Thank you for listening.